Preface of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Preface. Francis Bacon it was who said, "Prefaces are great wastes of time, and though they seem to proceed of modesty, they are bravery." It is necessary, however, in the present instance, to make a stand against the somewhat sweeping convictions of the Elizabethan master. The call of youth in India is a hot young call, trumpeting down the ages through a maze of polytheistic tribute, and emerging in the 20th century, with some of its original clearness of sound drowned by a gargantuan thunder of Western drums. The Indian poet of today is torn, like the Indian painter, between admiration for Western models and a desire to mold himself thereon, and an inherent Indian tradition that runs in his veins and will not be denied. Indeed, it is a pity to deny it. Sir Edmund Gosse persuaded Sarojini Naidu to tear up her poems about English life and to write of her own Indian bazaars and cities, villages and festivals, for which persuasion we are indeed indebted to Sir Edmund. We of the West do not want from the East poetic edifices built upon a foundation of Yeats and Shelley and Walt Whitman. We want genuine Taj Mahals and Jama Masjids, cameos of rural sweetness and the hopes of faithful hearts. We want to hear the flute of Krishna as Radha heard it, to fall under the spell of the blue god in the lotus heart of dreams, for there is much to learn from the melody of Eastern thought. It is, perhaps, a minor melody, born of the mating of love and death, but it has its seed in an innate spiritual rapture that no Western veneer can wholly cover. In the bulk of Indian poetry, religious feeling predominates, as is only natural in a country of many but steadfast faiths. To act, to think, to feel aright, until he knows his will, as one with Allah's will. Subjugation of the self, leading to a merging of that self with God. India writes largely from the inner vision. This disallows a foreign influence, but the poet is necessarily inspired as well by an everyday atmosphere which he enriches from the strength of his own perception. The steps of the bathing ghats in Calcutta may be of Sheffield cast iron, but the country that could produce a Taj Mahal, stone turned into a dream, D.G. Mukherjee calls it, will never lose the innate artistic vision of her soul. So the creative prayers of this mighty cosmopolitan multitude surge upwards in a song of glory till they reach the stars. Love of life is love of art, because life is art, and art is life. We chase after fleeting perfection, a rosy cloud, a glint of eternity in a lily pool, a drop of dew trembling on a flower petal, moments of heaven in worlds of chaos. To catch a mood of nature and transfer it to paper, to wring from the heart of an instrument one swift emotional phrase after another. Is it futile? Is it useless? Am I one of the trees in the night, or are the trees human beings? Asks Harindranath Chattopadhyay in one of his poems not published here, echoing the cry of Lai Po. Chang Chao in a dream became a butterfly, and the butterfly became Chang Chao at waking. Which was the real, the butterfly or the man? In Indian poetry, the mystic element shines through the outer decorative aspect. Our dreams and longings cover deeper dreams and longings in the silence far away. We are roused from the beautiful lyrical lilt of Chattopadhyaya and of his sister, Sarojini Naidu, by the thunder of Muhammad Iqbal's persuasive eloquence. He is a barrister at law at Lahore, an active Muslim opposed to Platonic illusion and non-progressive idealism. Plato, the prime ascetic and sage, was one of that ancient flock of sheep. His Pegasus went astray in the darkness of philosophy and galloped over the mountains of being. He was so fascinated by the ideal that he made head, eye, and ear of no account. Whether one agrees with his outlook or not, the fact remains that one cannot fail to be stirred by the intensely fiery spirit of Iqbal's rhetorical writing. He is a leader. He sweeps everything before him like a great wind swirling through a forest of pines. He would recreate Islam, an active, non-imperialistic, non-sensual Islam. In his own words, he is the voice of the poet of tomorrow. As Mr. R.A. Nicholson, his translator, says, the book Asrar-i-Khudi, Secrets of the Self, from which I have taken the extracts, presents certain obscurities which no translation can entirely remove. That is, of course, to European readers, or to those not conversant with Persian poetry, for the book was originally written in Persian. Although the language of Hind is sweet as sugar, yet sweeter is the fashion of Persian speech. He is an inspiring philosopher. Thou art fire, fill the world with thy glow, make others burn with thy burning. Up and re-inspire every living soul. I have spoken of the youth of India, but the contributors to this volume range in age from the 20s to the 70s. There is little need for me to speak of Rabindranath Tagore. Mr. Edward Thompson, to whom I am indebted for the 3 translations, has acted in a Boswellian capacity, and the poet is as well known in England as the great poets of our own nationality. I would draw attention, however, to the beautiful concluding lines of Urvasi. On the night of full moon, when the world brims with laughter, memory, from somewhere far away, pipes a flute that brings unrest. The tears gush out. Yet in that weeping of the spirit, hope wakes and lives. Ah, unfettered one! The flute call of memory bringing restlessness and a strange peace on its liquid cadences, and a dimness of tears to stir the dust of hope to life. Ah, unfettered one! I have included some translations of Indian songs as sung by native singers, because I thought they might be of interest from an indigenous point of view. Dr. Ananda Kumaswamy, of the Museum of Fine Arts, Boston, Massachusetts, is responsible for their English rendering. The one commencing, "Quietly come, O beauty, come," has a mystical meaning. We drift then into the Punjab, the land of 5 waters, and find Puran Singh, the Sikh poet, breathing the musk of God-love through nostrils ever open to receive a spiritual fragrance. The dew is falling everywhere, and wet is every rose. The gentle breath of heaven blows. It blows the perfume of the beauty that is worship into the heart of this devout enthusiast. His mind is a casket that holds the most precious gems of the Sikh religion and ideals, and gives them forth to an unenlightened world. Nanak, Gobind, Tek Bahadur, the names of the 10 masters, whose lives he has written, sound in his ears day and night. The loneliness of exile rings through the quivering poems of Manmohan Ghose. Lost is that country, and all but forgotten, mid these chill breezes. All true poets love trees, and Manmohan Ghose is no exception. Willow sweet, willow sad, willow by the river, taught by pensive love to droop, where ceaseless waters shiver. Mrs. Pankajini Basu is represented by one poem, Basanta Panchami, a description of the famous spring festival. One line in particular stands out. Ever sorrowful, ever ill-starred, are we women of Bengal, all of us. And one might add, ever devout, ever faithful. The eternal question of Indian womanhood cannot be dismissed with a shrug of the shoulders. Miss Naidu's lines, "What further need hath she of loveliness, whom death has parted from her lord's caress?" seems to strike at the heart of the matter. Time alone will solve a problem which at the moment is very vexed indeed. It would seem almost that in their poems these Indian women express all the fullness of their hearts in love songs, hymns of conjugal devotion, lamentations, praise of physical beauty, and tributes of faith, emotional outlets of warm, loyal natures, yet always with the underlying sadness that is the birthright of Hind, like an anthem at evening or the eyes of a convent sister. Melancholy glides like pearly vapor through the island grave of Sri Aurobindo ghosts, and I will meet thee in that lonely place. Then the grey dawn shall end my hateful days, and death admit me to the silent ways. Death, to the Oriental, is a small and yet a great matter. He welcomes rather than fears it. The body, being but the shell of the soul, is of little account, save, perhaps, for its procreative value as a creator of further beings in the image of God. Death, then, is a joyful thing, and there is but a thin line between the wedding song and the funeral dirge. The bluebird of truth is flying against a sky of such intense blueness as to be almost indistinguishable. Anada Acharya's Blue of Indra. This poet sends his snow blossoms of Indian thought forth from the cool earth of Norway. He lives there amid his Arctic swallows, and in his later work has grafted Asian feeling, in a curious way, upon a shoot of Scandinavian origin. There is, of course, a strange affinity between the Nordic peoples and the Asian. The strain flowed through northern Russia, south to Persia, and thence into India, the type gradually changing from blue-eyed, fair-skinned folk to olive skins and flaming eyes like thunder skies, so deep and dark. Jahangir Javaji Vakil's 3 little poems have not hitherto been published. The one commencing, O Long Black Hair of Love, has an almost Japanese brevity, and compresses into 4 lines quite a wealth of ardent feeling. India is rich in legendary history, and does not lack for romantic and dramatic episodes in her actual chronicles. I have, nevertheless, found little of the narrative style of poetry among the modern poets. Historical and legendary references are occasionally met with, but they are usually incidental, and little use has been made of a richly equipped storehouse. A.D.K. Set has utilized this method in Roshanara, Inayat Khan in Tanzan, and Tagore, in a measure, in Urvasi. Apparently the lyrical style, or the sonnet form, has the greatest appeal. Narayan Waman Tilak was a Christian mystic. His poems breathe all the fervor of the convent. Saith Dasa, Christ, upon thy pallet bed, grant me a little space to lay my head. I have included Zahir, Ghalib, and Amir because, though not modern in a strict sense, as is, say, Fridun Kabraji, they have been translated by living people, namely Mrs. J.D. Westbrook and Piro Murshid Inayat Khan. Whether this is the dawn time of a new era of Indian poetic thought, who shall say? These Eastern singers, Bengali, Punjabi, Hindu, Mohammedan, Sikh, Christian, have upon their shoulders a yoke of heavy responsibility. They have to support and become worthy of the mighty tradition that lies behind them. Song should be theirs naturally, but it is one thing to preserve the meter in their own particular tongues, and another to wrestle with the technicalities of English. There are many more modern poets in India from whom I might have chosen, but the scope of the book forbids the inclusion of more material. The Indian twilight descends, gentle and swift. Wizard clocks ring out and rend the calm. The dark, rich blue of night, peridot-studded, swings a baby moon high above inky palm and gleaming tomb. The poet sits in contemplation. The lotus streams upon the lyric melodies of day. Gwendoline Goodwin, Sheffield, December 8th, 1926. End of preface. Section 1 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. An Invocation. O thou art as the soul of the body of the universe. Thou art our soul, and thou art ever fleeing from us. Thou breathest music into life's flute. Life envies death, when death is for thy sake. Once more bring comfort into our sad hearts. Once more dwell in our breasts. Once more let us hear thy call to honor. Strengthen our weak love. We are oft complaining of destiny. Thou art of great price, and we have naught. Hide not thy fair face from the empty-handed. Sell cheap the love of Salman and Bilal. Give us the sleepless eye and the passionate heart. Give us again the nature of quicksilver. Show unto us one of thy manifest signs, that the necks of our enemies may be bowed. Make this chaff a mountain crested with fire. Burn with our fire all that is not God. When the people let the clue of unity go from their hands, they fell into 100 mazes. We are dispersed like stars in the world. Though of the same family, we are strange to one another. Bind again these scattered leaves. Revive the law of love. Take us back to serve thee as of old. Commit thy cause to them that love thee. We are travelers. Give us devotion as our goal. Give us a strong faith of Abraham. Make us know the meaning of there is no God. Make us acquainted with the mystery of except Allah. I, who burn like a candle for the sake of others, teach myself to weep like the candle. O God, a tear that is heart-enkindling, passionful, wrung forth by pain, peace-consuming. May I sow in the garden, and may it grow into a fire that washes away the firebrand from the tulip's robe. My heart is with yester-eve. My eye is on tomorrow. Amidst the company I am alone. Everyone fancies he is my friend, but my secret thoughts have not escaped from my heart. Oh, where in the wide world is my comrade? I am the bush of Sinai. Where is my Moses? I am Tyrannus. I have done many a wrong to myself. I have nourished a flame in my bosom, a flame that seized the furniture of judgment, and cast fire on the skirt of discretion, and lessened with madness the reason, and burned up the existence of knowledge. Its blaze enthrones the sun in the sky, and lightnings encircle it with adoration forever. Mine eye fell to weeping like dew since I was entrusted with that hidden fire. I taught the candle to burn openly, while I myself burned unseen by the world's eye. At last flames breathed from every hair of me. Fire dropped from the veins of my thought. My nightingale picked up the spark grains and created a fire-tempered song. Is the breast of this age without a heart? Majnun trembles lest Layla's howdah be empty. It is not easy for the candle to throb alone. Ah, is there no moth worthy of me? How long shall I wait for one to share my grief? How long must I search for a confidant? O thou whose face lends light to the moon and the stars, withdraw thy fire from my soul. Take back what thou hast put in my breast. Remove the stabbing radiance from my mirror, or give me one old comrade to be the mirror of mine all-burning love. In the sea, wave tosses side by side with wave. Each hath a partner in its emotion. In heaven, star consorts with star, and the bright moon lays her head on the knees of night. Morning touches night's dark side, and today throws itself against tomorrow. One river loses its being in another. A waft of air dies in perfume. There is dancing in every nook of the wine-house. Madman dances with madman. Howbeit in thine essence thou art single, thou hast decked out for thyself a whole world. I am as the tulip of the field. In the midst of a company I am alone. I beg of thy grace a sympathizing friend, an adept in the mysteries of my nature, a friend endowed with madness and wisdom, one that knoweth not the phantom of vain things, that I may confide my lament to his soul, and see again my face in his heart. His image I will mould of mine own clay. I will be to him both idol and worshipper. End of An Invocation by Mohammed Iqbal. Read by Deborah Beach Giordano.
Section 2 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. The Secrets of the Self. Prologue. When the world-illuming sun rushed upon night like a brigand, my weeping bedewed the face of the rose. My tears washed away sleep from the eye of the narcissus. My passion awakened the grass and made it grow. The gardener taught me to sing with power. He sowed a verse and reaped a sword. In the soil he planted only the seed of my tears, and wove my lament with the garden as warp and woof. Though I am but a mote, the radiant sun is mine. Within my bosom are 100 dawns. My dust is brighter than Jamshid's cup. It knows things that are yet unborn in the world. My thought hunted down and slung from the saddle a deer that has not yet leaped forth from the covert of non-existence. Fair is my garden, ere yet the leaves are green. Full-blown roses are hidden in the skirt of my garment. I struck dumb the musicians where they were gathered together. I smote the heartstrings of all that heard me, because the lute of my genius hath a rare melody. Even to comrades my song is strange. I am born in the world as a new sun. I have not learned the ways and fashions of the sky. Not yet have the stars fled before my splendor. Not yet is my quicksilver astir. Untouched is the sea by my dancing rays, untouched are the mountains by my crimson hue. The eye of existence is not familiar with me. I rise trembling, afraid to show myself. From the east my dawn arrived and routed night. A fresh dew settled on the rose of the world. I am waiting for the votaries that rise at dawn. Oh, happy they who shall worship my fire. I have no need of the ear of today. I am the voice of the poet of tomorrow. My own age does not understand my deep meanings. My Joseph is not for this market. I despair of my old companions. My Sinai burns for the sake of the Moses who is coming. Their sea is silent like dew, but my dew is storm-ridden like the ocean. My song is of another world than theirs. This bell calls other travelers to take the road. How many a poet, after his death, opened our eyes when his own were closed, and journeyed forth again from nothingness when roses bloomed o'er the earth of his grave. Albeit caravans have passed through this desert, they passed as a camel steps, with little sound. But I am a lover. Loud crying is my faith. The clamor of Judgment Day is one of my minions. My song exceeds the range of the chord, yet I do not fear that my lute will break. 'Twere better for the water drop not to know my torrent, whose fury should rather madden the sea. No river will contain my Oman. My flood requires whole seas to hold it. Unless the bud expand into a bed of roses, it is unworthy of my spring cloud's bounty. Lightnings slumber within my soul. I sweep over mountain and plain. Wrestle with my sea if thou art a plain. Receive my lightning if thou art a Sinai. The fountain of life hath been given me to drink. I have been made an adept of the mystery of life. The speck of dust was vitalized by my burning song. It unfolded wings and became a firefly. No one hath told the secret which I will tell, or threaded a pearl of thought like mine. Come, if thou wouldst know the secret of everlasting life. Come, if thou wouldst win both earth and heaven. The old guru of the sky taught me this lore. I cannot hide it from my comrades. O Saki, arise and pour wine into the cup. Clear the vexation of time from my heart. The sparkling liquor that flows from Zem-Zem, were it a beggar, a king would pay homage to it. It makes thought more sober and wise. It makes the keen eye keener. It gives to the straw the weight of a mountain, and to foxes the strength of lions. It causes dust to soar to the Pleiades, and a drop of water swell to the breadth of the sea. It turns silence into the din of Judgment Day. It makes the foot of the partridge red with blood of the hawk. Arise and pour pure wine into my cup. Pour moonbeams into the dark night of my thought, that I may lead home the wanderer and imbue the idle looker-on with restless impatience, and advance hotly on a new quest and become known as the champion of a new spirit, and be to people of insight as the pupil to the eye, and sink into the ear of the world like a voice and exalt the worth of poesy, and sprinkle the dry herbs with my tears. Inspired by the genius of the master of rum, I rehearse the sealed book of secret lore. His soul is the source of the flames. I am but as the spark that gleams for a moment. His burning candle consumed me, the moth. His wine overwhelmed my goblet. The master of rum transmuted my earth to gold, and clothed my barren dust with beauty. The grain of sand set forth from the desert that it might win the radiance of the sun. I am a wave, and I will come to rest in his sea, that I may make the glistening pearl mine own. I, who am drunken with the wine of his song, will draw life from the breath of his words. 'Twas night, my heart would fain lament. The silence was filled with my cries to God. I was complaining of the sorrows of the world, and bewailing the emptiness of my cup. At last mine eye could endure no more. Broken with fatigue, it went to sleep. There appeared the master, formed in the mould of truth, who wrote the Koran of Persia. He said, O frenzied lover, take a draught of love's pure wine. Strike the chords of thine heart, and rouse a tumultuous strain. Dash thine head against the cupping glass, and thine eye against the lancet. Make thy laughter the source of 100 sighs. Make the hearts of men bleed with thy tears. How long wilt thou be silent, like a bud? Sell thy fragrance cheap, like the rose. Tongue-tied, thou art in pain. Cast thyself upon the fire, like rue. Like the bell, break silence at last, and from every limb utter forth a lamentation. Thou art fire, fill the world with thy glow. Make others burn with thy burning. Proclaim the secrets of the old wine-cellar. Be thou a surge of wine, and the crystal cup thy robe. Shatter the mirror of fear. Break the bottles in the bazaar. Like the reed flute, bring a message from the reeds. Give to Majnun a message from Layla. Create a new style for thy song. Enrich the feast with thy piercing strains. Up and re-inspire every living soul. Say, arise, and by that word quicken the living. Up and set thy feet on another path. Put aside the passionate melancholy of old. Become familiar with the delight of singing. O bell of the caravan, awake! At these words my bosom was enkindled and swelled with emotion like the flute. I rose like music from the string to prepare a paradise for the ear. I unveiled the mystery of the self, and disclosed its wondrous secret. My being was as an unfinished statue, uncomely, worthless, good for nothing. Love chiseled me. I became a man, and gained knowledge of the nature of the universe. I have seen the movement of the sinews of the sky, and the blood coursing in the veins of the moon. Many a night I wept for man's sake, that I might tear the veil from life's mysteries, and extract the secret of life's constitution from the laboratory of phenomena. I, who give beauty to this night like the moon, am as dust in devotion to the pure faith, Islam. A faith renowned in hill and dale, which kindles in men's hearts a flame of undying song. It sowed an atom and reaped a sun. It harvested 100 poets like Rumi and Attar. I am a sigh. I will mount to the heavens. I am a breath, yet am I sprung of fire. Driven onward by high thoughts, my pen cast abroad the secret of this veil, that the drop may become co-equal with the sea and the grain of sand grow into a Sahara. Poetizing is not the aim of this Masnavi. Beauty worshipping and love-making is not its aim. I am of India. Persian is not my native tongue. I am like the crescent moon. My cup is not full. Do not seek from me charm of style in exposition. Do not seek from me Kansar and Isfahan. Although the language of Hind is sweet as sugar, yet sweeter is the fashion of Persian speech. My mind was enchanted by its loveliness. My pen became as a twig of the burning bush. Because of the loftiness of my thoughts, Persian alone is suitable to them. O reader, do not find fault with the wine cup, but consider attentively the taste of the wine. Muhammad Iqbal. End of section 2, read by Sandra, in Canada, 2025.
Section 3 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Larry Wilson. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Worship. You flood my music with your autumn silence, and burn me in the flame burst of your spring. Lo, through my beggar's beans, tattered garments, resplendent shines your crystal heart, my king. Like a rich song you chant your red fire sunrise deep in my dreams, and forge your white flame moon. You hide the crimson secret of your sunset, and the pure golden message of your moon. You fashion cool gray clouds within my body, and weave your rain into a diamond mesh. The universal beauty dances, dances a glimmering peacock in my flowering flesh. End of poem by Hirendranath Chattopadhyay. Section 4 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Larry Wilson. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Beyond the Verge of Time. Our dreams and longings cover deeper dreams and longings in the silence far away. All things on earth, sweet winds and shining clouds, waters and stars and the lone moods of men, are cool green echoes of the voice that sings beyond the verge of time. Between two cries of aught on earth wakes the eternal fire, wherein the destiny of heaven is wrought. For what is heaven but the earth grown full, and God but man unshadowed and afar? End of poem by Hirendranath Chattopadhyay. Steps. Each moment when we feel alone in this great world of rush and riot is as a jeweled stepping stone which leads into the house of quiet. Within it dwell the ancient seers, beyond unreal griefs and cares, beyond unreal smiles and tears, beyond the need of chant and prayers. End of poem by Hirendranath Chattopadhyay. Section 5 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Larry Wilson. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Ego. A beauty that ever eludes these fleshly eyes and fingers and lips. Ere I can catch one gleam of the starry skies, the mystery slips, leaving an empty, desolate, mocking moan in the little heart that greedily sought to hold vast beauty within its shadowy grasp and own elusive starry gold. Who are you, feeble, shadow-robed elf, striving again and again in vain to capture wealth of the deep, the shining, ineffable rapture, which is the self beyond self? End of poem by Hirendranath Chattopadhyay. Fire. Kindle your glimmering lamp in the infinite space, O love. Let the dark shadows dance in the burning depths of mine eyes. I am athirst for one glimpse of your beautiful face, O love, veiled in the mystical silence of stars and the purple of skies. Thrill me with radiant rapture, O love, of your ravishing flute, folding my silence in song and my sorrow in silver eclipse, shaping my heart into flower, and the flower of my heart into fruit, meet for your orchards of light, and touch of your luminous lips. Cast in the shadowy deeps of my being your love, like a spark, fan it to magical flame, till my dead heart burst into fire. Swing like a censer my dream of devotion, O love. Through the dark turn into tumults of incense my richly pulsating desire. End of poem by Hirendranath Chattopadhyay. Section 6 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Larry Wilson. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. The Artist. The self-same radiant ecstasy which wrought the tempest's giant wrath has painted gorgeous dream designs so delicately on the moth. The self-same luminous agony which shaped the lightning's fiery claw has carved in utmost tenderness a summer flower without a flaw. The self-same motherhood which made the awful mystery of death has built the body of a child and lit its limbs with golden breath. The self-same miracle which moves in silent mystery apart has struck the secret melody which dances shyly in my heart. End of poem by Hirendranath Chattopadhyay.
Section 7 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Imagery. He has fashioned the stars and the moons to the music of innermost flowering joy and desire. He has tried his own love for himself through the ages, by flooding his limbs with unquenchable fire, of creation that dances and bubbles and flutters, in peacocks, in seas, and the hearts of the birds. Behind the rich silence of red running sunsets and cool-colored sundawns he utters his words. He is finding forever his infinite fullness in blossoming buds and the withering flowers. He shapes through the heart of the world his ideal, so white in the midst of the many-hued hours. He weaves a fine trammel of marvelous colors around and about him in utter delight, till straight through the darkness his laughter comes lambent, bird-like from a cage in a freedom of flight. End of poem by Hirendranath Chattopadhyay, number 7. Read by ShayLaurent, February 10th, 2025.
Section 8 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Bruce Kachuk. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. 1. Transience. Forgive this wrong, that of your beauty I have made only a passing song, only a white flower song that will fade ere I have time to lay it beneath the shaped beauty of your feet. 2. O long black hair, O long black hair of love, in your dark shades a dove, my heart, circles in rings, beating white wings. Revelation. Oh, I have dreamt on many rain-dim eves of beauty folded in the flowers and leaves, spraying the grass with laughter as with light of shaken pearls that lit her hair's dark night, but never dreamed her eyes so deep might be as those with which last eve you gazed at me. End of poems by Jahangir Javaji Vakil. Section 9 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Bruce Kachuk. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Spring that in my courtyard. Spring that in my courtyard used to make such riot once, and buzzing laughter lift with heaped drift pomegranate flowers, cansion, parul, rain of palace showers. Spring, whose new twigs stirred the woods awake, with rosy kisses maddening all the sky, seeks me out today with soundless feet, where I sit alone. Her steadfast gaze goes out to where the fields and heavens meet. Beside my silent cottage, silently, she looks and sees the greenness swoon and die into the azure haze. This day will pass. I know this day will pass. This day will pass. That one day, some day, the dim sun with tender smiling will look in my face, looking his last farewell. Beside the way the flute will sound, the kine will graze on the river bank, the children will play in the courtyards, the birds will sing on, yet this day will pass. This day will pass. This is my prayer to thee, that ere I go I may learn why the green earth, lifting her eyes to the sky, called me to her, why the silence of the night told me of the stars, why the day's glory raised waves in my soul. This is my prayer to thee. When earth's revolutions for me are ended, in the finishing of my song, let me pause a moment, that I may fill my basket with the flowers and fruits of the 6 seasons, that in the light of this life I may see thee in going, that I may garland thee in going with the garland from my own throat, when earth's revolutions for me are ended. End of poems by Rabindranath Tagore.
Section 10 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Urvasi. Thou art not mother, art not daughter, art not bride, thou beautiful, comely one, O dweller in paradise, Urvasi. When evening descends on the pastures, drawing about her tired body her golden cloth, thou lightest the evening lamp within no home. With hesitant, wavering steps, with throbbing breast and downcast look, thou dost not go, smiling, fearful, to any beloved's bed. In the hushed midnight, like the rising dawn, thou art unveiled, unshrinking one. Like some seamless flower blooming in thyself, when didst thou blossom, Urvasi? That primal spring thou didst arise from the churning of ocean. In thy right hand, nectar, venom in thy left. The swelling, mighty sea, like a serpent tamed with spells, drooping his thousand towering hoods, fell at thy feet, white as the kunda blossom, a naked beauty, adored by the king of gods, thou flawless one. Wast thou never bud, never maiden of tender years, O eternally youthful Urvasi? Under whose dark roof didst thou know childhood's play, toying with gems and pearls? At whose side, in some chamber lit with the flashing of gems, lulled by the chant of the sea waves, didst thou sleep in coral bed, a smile on thy pure face? That moment when thou awakest into the universe, thou wast framed of youth in full-blown beauty. From age to age thou hast been the world's beloved, O unsurpassed in loveliness, Urvasi. Breaking their meditation, sages lay at thy feet the fruits of their penance. Smitten with thy glance, the three worlds grow restless with youth. The blinded winds blow thine intoxicating fragrance around. Like the black bee honey-drunken, the infatuated poet wanders, with greedy heart, lifting chants of wild jubilation, while thou goest with jingling anklets and waving skirts, restless as lightning. In the assembly of gods, when thou dancest in ecstasy of joy, O swaying wave, Urvasi, the companies of billows in mid-ocean swell and dance, beat on beat. In the crest of the corn the skirts of earth tremble. From thy necklace stars fall off in the sky. Suddenly in the breast of man the heart forgets itself, the blood dances. Suddenly in the horizon thy zone bursts, wild in abandon. On the sunrise mount of heaven thou art the embodied dawn, O world-enchanting Urvasi. The slimness of thy form is washed with the tears of the universe. The ruddy hue of thy feet is painted with the heart's blood of the three worlds. Thy tresses disrobed from their braid, thou hast placed thy light feet, thy lotus feet, on the lotus of the blossomed desires of the universe. Endless are thy masks in the mind's heaven, O comrade of dreams. Hear what crying and weeping everywhere rises for thee, O cruel, deaf Urvasi. Will that ancient prime ever revisit this earth? From the shoreless, unfathomed deep, wilt thou ever rise again, with wet locks? First in the first dawn that form will show. In the startled gaze of the universe, all thy limbs will weep, the waters flowing from them. Suddenly the vast sea, in songs never heard before, will thunder with its waves. She will not return, she will not return. That moon of glory has set. She has made her home on the mount of setting, has Urvasi. Therefore today on earth, with the joyous breath of spring, mingles the long-drawn sigh of some eternal separation. On the night of the full moon, when the world brims with laughter, memory, from somewhere far away, pipes a flute that brings unrest. The tears gush out. Yet in that weeping of the spirit, hope wakes and lives, unfettered one. End of poem by Rabindranath Tagore. Read by Deborah Beach Giordano.
Section 11 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Bruce Kachuk. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Open thou thy door of mercy. All my guilt of old, sin upon sin, put far, far away. Give, O Lord, give in my heart the melody of a new song, to stir to life my withered, unfeeling heart, near to death and poor. Play thy melody on the Bina, taking ever a new tune. As in nature thy sweetness overflows, so let thy compassion wake in my heart. In the midst of all things may thy loving face float before my eyes. May no rebel thought against thy wish ever wake in my heart. Day by day, before I set foot in life's forest, may I crave thy blessing and so advance, my Lord. Setting thy commands upon my head, may I with unfaltering care accomplish my every task in the remembrance of thy feet, giving to thee the fruit of my task fulfilled. At the end of day, may my wearied spirit and body find rest. Hurrying have I come from far away, knowing thee compassionate. 100 hindrances there were to my coming. How many thorns fill the path to my goal! So today, behold, my heart is wounded, my life is dark. Hurrying have I come from far away, knowing thee compassionate. Open thou thy door of mercy. My raft of life drifts on the boundless ocean. Fearlessness art thou, and ever powerful. Naught have I am weak and poor. My heart is thirsting for thy lotus feet. The day is now far spent. Open thou thy door of mercy. My raft of life drifts on the boundless ocean. End of poem by Hemantibara Dutt, translated by Miss Whitehouse. Section 12 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Bruce Kachuk. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. The Dancer. Lo, the heavy rain has come, with loosened tresses densely dark. Lo, the sky is covered. Lightnings rend the thick darkness over the mountains. All around, to my heart's content, I see that beauty has burst forth. See, frolicsome, she pours forth her loveliness in 1,000 streams. Her raiment hastily flung around her in disarray, mad passion in her eyes, with the voice of the papaea, full of sweetness and pity, she sings. Slowly move her feet, slipping, slipping, falls her loosely hanging scarf. Her heart throbs with tumultuous feeling, as if a flood of beauty overflows. Her green jacket of emerald grass displays the hue of her radiant beauty all around. The anklets on her feet keeping time ring out in swift succession, as if they were sweet cymbals. Round her lovely throat hangs her chain of emerald parrots. The rain has ceased, and she garbs herself in silken robes, broidered with diamond raindrops. She gladdens the eye. On the tree tops birds play on golden tambourines. is the dancer dancing in Indra's hall, casting restless glances here and there. Urvasi puts off the chain of jewels from her breast. How gay her laughter! How fair a dance her tinkling footsteps weave! Her bracelets and bangles circle glittering. She is girdled with melody of murmuring swans. For her earth and sky swoon away, overflowing with love. Her hands touched the Bina, and by her spell enthralled my infatuated heart. Tears stream from my eyes, infatuation floods my heart. The witch today has melted my timid heart. Lo, the heavy rain has come. End of poem by Nirupama Devi. Translated by Miss Whitehouse.
Section 13 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Acknowledgment. Thee among all men do I honor. Thee among all men do I know. Lo, in the beauty of all thee do I see. In the mouth of all I have heard the sweet voice of thy lips. Thee this time I have sought and found. Thee amongst all do I worship. Lo, I for all have given my life. To the work of all amongst all I have devoted my heart. Nirupama Devi, translated by Miss Whitehouse. End of section 13. Read by Sandra in Canada, 2025.
Section 14 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Remembrance. Today I shall not indulge in lovers' quarrels. I shall not open the ledger and calculate debit and credit. Only once again I shall fill my heart with remembrance of thee. The Visible. Dearest, I know that thy body is but transitory, that the kindled life, thy shining eyes, shall be quenched by the touch of death. I know that this thy body, the meeting place of all beauty, in seeing which I count my life well lived, shall become but a heap of bones, I know. Yet I love thy body. Day by day, afresh through it, have I satisfied a woman's love and desire by serving thy feet and worshipping thee. On days of good omen I have decked thee with a flower garland. On days of woe I have wiped away with my sari end thy tears of grief. O my Lord, I know that thy soul is with the everlasting one. Yet, waking suddenly some nights, I have wept in loneliness, thinking how thou didst drive away my fear, clasping me to thy breast. And so I count thy body as the chief goal of my love, as very heaven. End of poems by Priyambada Devi. Translated by Miss Whitehouse. Read by Anusha Iyer, Mumbai, 22nd April 2025.
Section 15 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. In the Light. We are indeed children of light. What an endless mart goes on in the light. In the light is our sleeping and waking, the play of our life and death. Beneath one great canopy, in the ray of one great sun, slowly, very slowly, burn the unnumbered lamps of life. In the midst of this unending light I lose myself. Amidst this intolerable radiance I wander like one blind. We are indeed children of light. Why then do we fear when we see the light? Come, let us look all around and see, here no man hath cause for any fear. In this boundless ocean of light, if a tiny lamp goes out, let it go. Who can say that it will not burn again? Mrs. Kamini Roy, translated by Miss Whitehouse. End of section 15, read by Sandra in Canada, 2025.
Section 16 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Call and bring her. She went on the wrong way. She has come back again. Afar off she stands, her head bowed down with shame and fear. She does not step forward. She cannot raise her eyes. Go near, take her hand, call her and bring her. Today turn not your face away in silent reproach. Today let eyes and words be filled with the nectar of love. What good will come from pouring scorn on the past? Think of her dark future. Take her by the hand and bring her. Lest for lack of love the shamed soul fling away repentance. Bring her, call and bring her. She has come to give herself up. Bind her fast with loving arms. If she goes today, what if she never comes again? By one day's neglect, one day's contempt and anger, you will lose a life forever. Do you not purpose to give life? Neglect is a poisoned arrow. With sorrowing pardon, bring her, call and bring her. End of poem by Mrs. Kamini Roy. Translated by Miss Whitehouse. Read by Anusha Iyer, Mumbai, 22nd April 2025. Section 17 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Basanta Panchami. Today, after a year on the sacred 5th day, nature has flung away her worn raiment, and with new jewels, see, with fresh buds and new shoots, she has begemmed herself and smiles. The birds wing their way, singing with joy. Ah, how lovely! The black bee hums as if with sound of ooh, ooh. He wished good fortune to nature. The south breeze seems to say as it flits from house to house, today Bina Pani comes here to Bengal. Arrayed in guise that would enrapture even sages, maid nature has come to worship thy feet, O propitious one. See, O India, at this time all pay no heed to fear of plague, famine, earthquake. All put away pain and grief and gloom. Today all are drunk with pleasure. For a year, nature was waiting in hope for this day to come. Many folk in many a fashion now summon thee, O white-armed one. I also have a mind to worship. Thy 2 feet are red lotuses. But say, with what gift shall we worship thee, O Mother Bina Pani? Ever sorrowful, ever ill-starred are we women of Bengal, all of us. Yet if thou have mercy, this utterly dependent one will worship thee with the gift of a single tear of devotion shed on thy lotus feet. Graciously accept that, and in mercy, O white-armed one, grant this blessing on my head on this propitious sacred day, that this life may be spent in thy worship, Mother. End of poem by Pankajini Basu. Translated by Miss Whitehouse. Read by Anusha Iyer, Mumbai, on the 22nd of April, 2025. Section 18 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. A Woman's Beauty. Round the black eyes are eyebrows looking like a bow. They are not frightened at all, and they shoot their arrows with certainty. Seeing the precious earrings with pearls and beautiful settings, even the moon with all the stars is filled with shame. I cannot describe the beauty of the lips, cheeks, teeth, and nose. Even Sheshnag, seeing the beautiful hair, sighs deeply. End of poem by Sri Saraswati Devi. Translated by Mrs. Key. Read by Anusha Iyer, Mumbai, on the 22nd of April 2025.
Section 19 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. An Evening on the Lagoon and at the Temple. An evening on the lagoon. Withdrawn in silence from the raging sea, behind a dark and waving grove of palm, in glorious solitude at even calm, we glide at water's edge towards the lee, away from busy haunts. Eternity and love, the burden of our rapturous psalm, as 'neath the starlit heaven we breathe the balm of nature's stillness, lulling you and me to dream in soft ethereal realms of bliss, where flits no darkening shadow, dwells no care, and all is sweetness and ecstatic light, the plighted faith renewed with every kiss of fervent gratitude for all our share of blessed weal in life by day and night. P. Seshadri. At the temple. 3 little girls were on the temple stair, waiting for worship at the inner shrine. Their tiny hands betrayed a hidden sign of weariness, devoid of strength to bear their wealth of luscious fruit and offerings rare. But still they stood. "What shall the gods assign to crown your lives?" I asked. "What blessings fine will cheer with happiness your faces fair?" "A mass of glittering jewels," said one child. "Bracelet and necklace, shining gold waistband and pearl eardrop. Fine robes of richest lace and gayest foam-spun silk," another wailed. The third, with head bent down and trembling hand, whispered, "A lovely partner on life's ways." P. Seshadri. End of section 19. Read by Sandra in Canada, 2025.
Section 20 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Raksha Bandhan. A piece of silken tassel tipped with gold, tied round the hand by loving sisters' hands. A sacred day in Shravan, when the lands are bathed in welcome rain, is said to hold a potent charm for good. From days of old, this pretty faith has come, and happy bands of brothers still pay heed to its commands, one day each year. Who will be rashly bold and flout this festival as void of worth, an ancient mummery, to which man shows his slavish piety? Let him who knows of beings more devoted than the fair, of wishes purer than a sister's care, and stronger powers than woman's love on earth. End of poem by P. Seshadri. Read by Anusha Iyer, Mumbai, 11th May 2025.
Section 21 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Longings and Thoughts. Longings. Were I a mighty master swaying art in all her lovely forms surpassing fair, and robed in magic mystery, aware of cunning artist craft, a mind and heart aglow with beauty's sacred spark, a part of God's creative light, if I could share the gift of breathing life infusing air in canvas, draw thy rapturous sweetness, start the portrait beaming bright in loveliness, the sculptor's skill to shape thy limbs divine in living marble, show thy beauty's prime. Shall I, encrowned with laurel, sing for time, eternity, and universe, enshrine thy name for ages, scorning storm and stress? P. Seshadri. Thoughts. When midnight hours know not the peace of sleep, but drudge in trembling hope for envied fame, in ghostly solitude before a flame of glimmering light, whose sombre rays out-peep to view the city wrapped in silence deep, midst weird and darkly waving groves of palm, when wizard clocks ring out and rend the calm with strides of time, their thrilling voices creep along the soul. My mind, with labour worn or grappling with a knot, delights to stand in stillness, yearning forth to clasp with love thy beauteous form. And then spring opes above, with blossomed flower and chirping bird, the land smiles neath the sunlit hues the heavens adorn. P. Seshadri. End of section 21. Read by Sandra in Canada, 2025.
Section 22 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Hannah Lake. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. The Lovers. From the rose gardens of time, fragrant and fresh in ecstasies of light, day has come. How many an age of silent love hath breathed and breathed upon his cheeks that tender flush of rose. The blue in his eyes, from what lakes of enchantment hath he drunk? The radiant colors of his thought, from what infinite wonder hath he made? The glory of his love for whom hath he brought? For whom the music of his clouds, his winds, his birds? The secrets of his soul for whom? A lotus bud has opened. Ere she was born, the pain of a vast music did fill and fill her soul with a vain, constant hope. In the ecstasy of that pain she bloomed into flower. The lotus dreams upon the lyric melodies of day. In the sunset hush of evening she folds her petals upon the memories of day, enwoven with her fragrant devotions. In the secrecy of night she sings her praise, making the deeps of the dark melodious. The glory of his love for whom doth he bring? For whom the music of his clouds, his winds, his birds? The secrets of his soul for whom? End of poem by Fridun Kabraji.
Section 23 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Cavaet. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. A Blue Dream. Where her two lips meet or part, leaps all my heart, like the swift ship's lurch on the lucent wave, past peril and the grave. Where her two eyes open or close upon the rose-kissed snows of her face, from my soul doth rise of its grace a white star in their skies. But if she smile, or weave of her mouth a word, swiftly a light steals half my mind, while her word falls all unheard, and a blue mist reels, half curtaining my mind, as a blue dream reels in the heart of the blind, circling a remembrance of meadows and streams, of blossoms that open and lights that dance, and passions that struggle to live in dreams. End of poem by Fridun Kabraji.
Section 24 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Anthony Will. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Tulip. Tulip, tell me, what do you hold in your cup? I hold in my cup the magic that swells the thirst of your soul, O mother, when you look on the form of your child, the opiate that fills your dream, mother, with the awe of the unknown. But, Tulip, tell me, why do you guard your magic beyond the wing of melody? Because, ere thought was, a kiss of love did capture death in the seed of life. That is why no melody of life can hold all the magic in my cup, mother. That is why love cannot hold your child in life alone. End of poem by Fridun Kabraji.
Section 25 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Return to Khairpur. Thy greens grow pearls, thy sunsets roses fair. My wandering heart returned to stay with thee, in shades of eve to breathe thy cooler air, that brings refreshment promised long to me. I love thy water wheels, that sing to sleep the playful twilight, autumn's moody child. the flames that from thy fields and pinfolds leap, like lights that lead the hearts by Pan beguiled. I love thy country maids with water jars, whose graceful coveys rural charms enhance. I love thy palms that gaze at distant stars, and upward draw the earth-encumbered glance. I love thy lake with silver trailing flowers, whose wavelets fondly hold the starry skies. The moon, entranced by calm of midnight hours, in violet bed on lily petals lies. No more the eyes of homesick longings pine, to watch the sphere remote where stars abound. But, like thy lake that holds its love divine, my heart within hath longed for heaven found. India, entertaining twilight. To India's comely cottage twilight hied. Salam, my lass, resplendent twilight cried. A sumptuous fare prepare, since noon I tried to come this way, but the glowing day did stay with thee. Fresh milk and fried chapatis bring, do not forget thy hubble bubble, dear, for lots of dreamy cheer. From out thy hair the withered lily fling, don fine array with pearls thy tresses lay, and play thy veena, dance and sing. One stolen hour is mine, that little while with haunting notes of Suri Rag beguile. And let me see thy flaming eyes as thunder skies, so deep and dark, with mystic lightnings bright. With Tuhals wake what slumbering lies, the past let rise. All yesterdays to pageant gay invite. Be swift, my sweet, the meat and chutney let us eat. The hour, my sweet, is fleet, from night I must retreat. Already Muezzin's mellow call resounds in Mango Grove, and temple bells that wake the gods, the hearts to worship move. Come hither, dear, the moments flee. Salam, my love, salam. And India, sunburnt India, sweetly blushed. Salam, I'll hasten, answered she, and brushed from off her braid the faded lily. Crushed by day's embrace, she sped with joy, her face ablaze, to milk the goats, to fry the cakes in ghee, kebab, pulao, the dates and honey brought, and hubble bubble sought with smiles of Scythian hospitality. With petty grace she soared about the place, to trace each thing that added glee to twilight's hour. A rich repast she spread before her guest, who sliced the mangoes red, 'neath palms, beside the well and stream, his eyes agleam with dusk. He watched where night in forests hid, and vexed with prying silver beam his crimson dream, while India, humming low, her braids undid. With rustling sound unbound, her tresses sought the ground. With silvery sound she wound her pearls in orient found. Her silk apparel, jasmine decked, kissed rugs of golden cloth. With hennaed hands she swirled her veil, as frail as wings of moth. Her veena struck with bended knee. Salam, she quoth, salam. She shot as lightning up, then paused and smiled. Then round she spun in trance as dervish wild. In rainbow hue she flew, with flowers piled. A flame a-whirl with passion red, each curl a twirl, as Indra's as Indra's temple dancer, maddening hearts, her lips with kisses scarlet, eyes aglow. Now moved she sly and slow, as Punjab tigress ere for prey she starts. Then did unfurl a smock as white as pearl. A girl of pious southern parts, she turned, gazillion soft and meek her glance. The rosary and censer graced her dance, a fragrant bud of womanhood, divinely good. But soon her measure ceased, with rhythmic trill, in Delhi's wealth arrayed she stood, in soaring mood, then danced again to show her perfect skill. With flourish bold and gold aflash, now anklets told, her footsteps bold controlled a battle march of old. She forward dashed as Amazon of Rajput's desert side. Her eyes with valor all aflame, so proudly did she stride. Vah vah! So twilight cheered, and she, Salam, replied, Salam. Her jadoo veil now changed the scene, and lo, in clouds she danced through Kashmir's mountain snow, through jungle glooms and tombs of gold below, by Ganges led, where orchards blossoms shed, she sped. Mid coils as Gopi or as Rama's queen, with shimmering ivory limbs and rubied brow, as Mughal princess now. She sat mid slaves on throne of jasper sheen, now made her bed on elephant's broad head, and fled as Jinn through plantains green. Then rose as butterfly from out her shawl, all poised over lucid lakes of Taj Mahal. The hour had slipped, and night at last approached so fast, and twilight donned his turban, chilled with fright. The hookah stick he dropped aghast, and India cast her jewelled slipper at her guardian night, who gently sailed and trailed the stars, but twilight quailed, and westward sailed. All veiled in mists he drooped and paled, her lacquered cradle India spread for her moonlit night to rest, namaskar made with folded hands, half serious, half a jest, she fibbered, twilight hit at thee. Salam, my best salam. End of poems by Elsa Kazi. Read by Anusha Iyer, Mumbai, 11th May 2025. Section 26 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Roshanara. The Queen Roshanara is sad and weeps in the absence of her lord in battle. Her maidens strive to comfort her. With this to the couch, whereon lay the queen, so shaken with voices she heard, and dreams she dreamt, and visions she saw. To her they brought rose petals in their hands, and musks in baskets, perfuming her, but she was terror-stricken still. Then with a wild clash of tambourines they fell to an air of joyous happiness. Sweetly soared the voice like that of a nightingale of the chief maiden who sang of the wind. North wind and south wind, west wind and east wind, thou shalt not mourn, but blow, blow gently on my lady's cheeks, blow. And thou, O great sea, thou shalt not wail, but sweetly lull my lady to sleep. Red leaf and green leaf and all ye withered leaves, ye shall not turn the lawns into a wilderness, for my lady is sad, and to see ye thus would make her sadder still. Great trees and small trees, ye shall not shake and shiver when my lady walks, but ye shall serve her as a good shade. Great birds and small birds and all ye humming-birds, ye shall not wail morning elegies, but shall twitter, and your little throats shall quiver in an ecstasy of delight. Ye shall sing of sweet joy, ye shall make my lady happy. And ye fairies and cherubs, ye queens of the dreams and kings of the shadows, of the hidden people and the unknown, ye shall not approach my lady, for her heart sinks with fright, and she trembles like a leaf that is thrown from the branches with the wind's force. All ye unknown, be banished from my lady to your land of mystery and heart's desire, to your land of eternal youth. End of poem by Adi K. Seth. Read by Anusha Iyer, Mumbai, 11th May 2025.
Section 27 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by MamaPhish. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. In Praise of Henna. A kokila called from a henna spray. Lira, liri, lira, liri. Hasten, maidens, hasten away, to gather the leaves of the henna tree. Send your pitchers afloat on the tide. Gather the leaves ere the dawn be old. Grind them in mortars of amber and gold, the fresh green leaves of the henna tree. A kokila called from a henna spray. Lira, liri, lira, liri. Hasten, maidens, hasten away, to gather the leaves of the henna tree. The tilkas red for the brow of a bride, and betel nuts red for lips that are sweet. But for lily-like fingers and feet, the red of the henna tree. End of poem by Sarojini Naidu.
Section 28 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Bruce Kachuk. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Imperial Delhi. Imperial city, dowered with sovereign grace, to thy renascent glory still there clings the splendid tragedy of ancient things, the regal woes of many a vanquished race, and memory's tears are cold upon thy face, e'en while thy heart's returning gladness rings loud on the sleep of thy forgotten kings, who in thine arms sought life's last resting place. Thy changing kings and kingdoms pass away, the gorgeous legends of a bygone day, but thou dost still immutably remain unbroken symbol of proud histories, unaging priestess of old mysteries, before whose shrine the spells of death are vain. End of poem by Sarojini Naidu. Section 29 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Bruce Kachuk. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Dirge, in sorrow of her bereavement. What longer need hath she of loveliness, whom death has parted from her lord's caress, of glimmering robes like rainbow-tangled mist, of gleaming glass or jewels on her wrist, blossoms or fillet pearls to deck her head, or jasmine garlands to adorn her bed? Put by the mirror of her bridal days, why need she now its counsel or its praise, or happy symbol of the henna leaf, for hands that know the comradeship of grief? Red spices for her lips that drink of sighs, or black carelium for her weeping eyes? Shatter her shining bracelets, break the string, threading the mystic marriage beads that cling, loath to desert a sobbing throat so sweet. Unbind the golden anklets on her feet, divest her of her azure veils, and cloud her living beauty in a living shroud. Nay, let her be. What comfort can we give for joy so frail, for hope so fugitive? The yearning pain of unfulfilled delight, the moonless vigils of her lonely night, for the abysmal anguish of her tears, and flowering springs that mock her empty years. End of poem by Sarojini Naidu. Section 30 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Bruce Kachuk. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Spring. Young leaves grow green on the banyan twigs, and red on the peepul tree. The honey birds pipe to the budding figs, and honey blooms call to the bee. Poppies squander their fragile gold in the silvery aloe brake. Coral and ivory lilies unfold their delicate lives on the lake. Kingfishers ruffle the feathery sedge, and all the vivid air thrills with butterfly wings in the wild rose hedge and the luminous blue of the hills. Cradle-song. From groves of spice or fields of rice, athwart the lotus stream, I bring for you, aglint with dew, a little lovely dream. Sweet, shut your eyes, the wild fireflies dance through the fairy neem. From the poppy hole for you I stole a little lovely dream. Dear eyes, good night, in golden light the stars around you gleam. On you I press with soft caress a little lovely dream. End of poems by Sarojini Naidu. Section 31 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Bruce Kachuk. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. June Sunset. Here shall my heart find its haven of calm, by rush-fringed rivers and rain-fed streams that glimmer through meadows of lily and palm. Here shall my soul find its true repose, under a sunset sky of dreams, diaphanous, amber and rose. The air is aglow with the glint and the whirl of swift wild wings in their homeward flight. Sapphire, emerald, topaz, and pearl afloat in the evening light. A brown quail cries from the tamarisk bushes, a bulbul calls from the cassia plume, and through the wet earth the gentian pushes her spikes of silvery bloom. Where'er the foot of the bright shower passes, fragrant and fresh delights unfold. The wild fawns feed on the scented grasses, wild bees on the cactus gold. An ox cart stumbles upon the rocks, and a wistful music pursues the breeze from a shepherd's pipe as he gathers his flocks under the peepul trees. And a young banjara, driving her cattle, lifts up her voice as she glitters by in an ancient ballad of love and battle, set to the beat of a mystic tune, and the faint stars gleam in the eastern sky to herald a rising moon. End of poem by Sarojini Naidu.
Section 32 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Bunkim Chandra Chatterjee. How hast thou lost, O month of honey and flowers, the voice that was thy soul, creative showers, the cuckoo's day-long cry and moan of bees, zephyrs and streams and tender blossoming trees and murmuring laughter and heart-easing tears, and tender thoughts and great, and the compeers of lily and jasmine and melodious birds. All these thy children into lovely words he changed at will, and made soul-moving books from hearts of men and women's honeyed looks. O master of delicious words, the bloom of champak and the breath of king perfume have made each musical sentence with the noise of women's ornaments and sweet household joys, and laughter tender as the voice of leaves playing with vernal winds. The eye receives, that reads these lines, an image of delight, a world with shapes of spring and summer, noon and night. All nature in a page, no pleasing show, but men more real than the friends we know. O plains, O hills, O rivers of sweet Bengal, O land of love and flowers, the spring bird's call and southern wind are sweet among your trees. Your poet's words are sweeter far than these. Your heart was this man's heart. Subtly he knew the beauty and divinity in you. His nature kingly was, and as a god, in large serenity and light he trod his daily way. Yet beauty, like soft flowers wreathing a hero's sword, ruled all his hours. Thus moving in these iron times and drear, barren of bliss and robbed of golden cheer, he sowed the desert with ruddy-hearted rose, the sweetest voice that ever spoke in prose. Sri Aurobindo goes. End of section 32, read by Sandra in Canada, 2025.
Section 33 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by ShrimpPhish. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. A Rose of Women and the Island Grave. A Rose of Women. Now lilies blow upon the windy height, now flowers the pansy kissed by tender rain. Narcissus builds his house of self-delight, and love's own fairest flower blooms again. Vainly your gems, O meadows, you recall. One simple girl breathes sweeter than you all. The Island Grave. Ocean is there, and evening, the slow moan of the blue waves that like a shaken robe, two heard together once, one hears alone. now gliding white and hushed towards our globe, keen January with cold eyes and clear, and snowdrops pendant in each frosty lobe. Ushers the firstborn of the radiant year, haply his feet that grind the breaking mold may brush the dead grass on thy secret bier. Haply his joyless fingers, wan and cold, caress the ruined masses of thy hair, pale child of winter, dead ere youth was old. Art thou so desolate in that bitter air, that even his breath feels warm upon thy face? Ah, till the daffodil is born, forbear, and I will meet thee in that lonely place. Then the grey dawn shall end my hateful days, and death admit me to the silent ways. End of A Rose of Women and The Island Grave by Sri Aurobindo Ghosh.
Section 34 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Anthony Will. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Invitation. With wind and the weather beating round me, up to the hill and the moorland I go. Who will come with me? Who will climb with me? Wade through the brook and tramp through the snow? Not in the petty circles of cities, cramped by your doors and your walls I dwell. Over me God is blue in the welkin. Against me the wind and the storm rebel. I sport with solitude here in my regions. Of misadventure have made me a friend. Who would live largely? Who would live freely? Here to the windswept uplands ascend. I am the Lord of tempest and mountain. I am the spirit of freedom and pride. Stark must he be, and a kinsman to danger, who shares my kingdom and walks at my side. End of poem by Sri Aurobindo Ghosh.
Section 35 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Hannah Lake. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. A Child's Imagination. O thou golden image, miniature of bliss, speaking sweetly, speaking meetly, every word deserves a kiss. Strange, remote, and splendid, childhood's fancy pure, thrills to thoughts we cannot fathom, quick felicities obscure. When the eyes grow solemn, laughter fades away, nature of her mighty childhood recollects the Titan play. Woodlands touched by sunlight, where the elves abode, giant meetings, Titan greetings, fancies of a youthful god. These are coming on thee, in thy secret thought, God remembers in thy bosom all the wonders that he wrought. End of poem by Sri Aurobindo Ghosh.
Section 36 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Evening. A golden evening when the thoughtful sun rejects its usual pomp in going. Trees that bend down to their green companion and fruitful mother, vaguely whispering, these and a wide silent sea. Such hour is nearest God, like rich old age when the long ways have all been trod. The sea at night. The grey sea creeps half visible, half hushed, and grasps with its innumerable hands these silent walls. I see beyond a rough, glimmering infinity. I feel the wash and hear the sibilation of the waves, that whisper to each other as they push to shoreward side by side, long lines and dim of movement flecked with quivering spots of foam, the quiet welter of a shifting world. Poems by Sri Aurobindo Ghosh. Lachhi, from a well-known Punjabi folk song. Aha! When Lachhi spills water, spills water, spills water, spills water, there sandal grows, where Lachhi spills water. Aha! Lachhi asks the girls, the girls, the girls, the girls, oh, what coloured veil suits a fair complexion? Aha! The girls said truly, said truly, said truly, said truly, a veil that is black becomes a fair complexion. What then your fortune, Lachhi? Your fortune, Lachhi? Your fortune, Lachhi? Your fortune, Lachhi? Ho, your boy like the moon, what then your fortune? Who'll give you milk to drink, Lachhi? Drink, Lachhi, drink, Lachhi, drink, Lachhi. Your friendship with the goat herds is sundered. Who'll give you milk to drink? This song is sung to a purely folk air, not in any definite rag. End of poem. Read by Anusha Iyer, Mumbai, 11th May 2025. Section 37 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Azme. Note: the story goes that Gami wrote the song about a girl of Kuttahar, a village in the Maraz Pargana of Kashmir, named Azme, and that it became the occasion of trouble for its author. Complaints were made about Gami, and his father reported the matter to the Tehsildar of the district. But the poet explained that Azme meant today, and that the whole song had only a Sufi significance. Azme, love of thee came to me, fortunate vision. Azme, show me thy face, O darling. Azme, love of thee, etc. Say, where shall I wait, in Shangas or Nogam? An ill name I got in Kuttahar. Azme, love of thee, etc. I sought thee in Achaval, Brung, Kuttahar. Lakhs of hardships I suffered, my darling. Pomegranate thy cheeks, or Sazaposh. How dark are thine eyes, my darling. Shining thy brows as though with sweat. How many a one thy nose has slain, my darling. Sitting by the door, choosing saffron flowers, I know not for whom, my darling. What a famous spinning wheel is there in Kolgam! Matchless its handle, my darling. Silver are the strings of thy spinning wheel. Those who see it fall ill with wonder, my darling. Skillfully pounding the rice so fine, the good shape of the cypress has Azme, my darling. Bright is her dress as a pearl, short are the plaits of Azme, my darling. Slowly combing her hair so fine, I will count up thy plaits, my darling. Kamader has passed through Kuttahar. All folk to him must yield, my darling. Hapless Mahmud, where shall he wait for thee? and ill name I won in Kuttahar, my darling. End of poem by Mahmood Gami. Read by Anusha Iyer, Mumbai, 11th May 2025. Section 38 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Awake, my friend. Awake, my friend. Be glad, spring has come. Spread jasmine on the balconies, lasting is the glory of jasmine. From afar I saw the beloved come hither, that houri came to my courtyard. Breast to breast he embraced me before the people. Openly was his coming to be seen by any. Ah, burn my blood to clots of fondness. Accomplish in my heart the love of Islam. These things thou shouldst not reveal among drunkards, lest tomorrow there be reproach. Mahmood Wazah will tell the secret of love. Hans Raja shall he be named. End of poem by Mahmood Wazah. Read by Anusha Iyer, Mumbai, 11th May 2025. Section 39 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Marriage Song. Spring has come with almond blossom, all about Sharika Devi. Flower beds are walled about, flowers I'll offer night and morn. Spring has come with almond blossom, all about Raginya Devi. Lotus flowers are walled about, milk I'll pour her night and morn. Spring has come with almond blossom, all about Zala Devi. Mint plants are walled about, puja I'll make night and morn. Spring has come with almond blossom, all about Shivaji. Sandal trees are walled about, I will anoint him night and morn. Spring has come with almond blossom, all about Narayan. Tulsi plants are walled about, saffron I'll rub night and morn. Note: by the names Sharika, Raginya, etc. are meant places as well as the divinities worshipped. Thus, Sharika, Sati, Parvati is Hari Parbat, where there is a festival to Sharika in March. Raginya, Kheer Bhavani, is an island at Inlamul, where there is a festival in May. Zala, another form of Parvati, is a hill where there is a festival in June. Shivaji is a village in the Zainagar Pargana. Narayan is a tirtha near Baramuta. End of poem by Anand Kumaraswamy. Read by Anusha Iyer, Mumbai, 11th May 2025. Section 40 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Mystic Love Song from 30 Indian Songs. Quietly come, O beauty, come. O cups of wine I'll fill for thee. Come to our house, O beauty, come. Come as a guest, O beauty, come. Quietly come, O beauty, come. Borders twain thy veil adorn. At early dawn, O beauty, rise. Quietly come, O beauty, come. A silken border thy veil adorns. Father has sent thee a cradle of bells. Quietly come, O beauty, come. Hast thou come from the heavens, O lovely bird? Wilt come by thyself, or a snare shall I spread? Quietly come, O beauty, come. He who made this golden bracelet, was he only a goldsmith and never a master of craft? Quietly come, O beauty, come. End of poem by Ananda Kumaraswamy. Read by Anusha, Iyer, Mumbai, 11th May, 2025.
Section 41 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. The Punjab Autumn, the Season of the Cooling Dew. Composed on the birthday of Guru Nanak, 1916. The piping of the rainbirds has ceased. Dadar and Pipya are silent now. The dance of the peacock is over. It is a season of the cooling dew. The dew is falling everywhere, and wet is every rose. The gentle breath of heaven blows. The clouds have stopped their thunder. The lightning has hidden her spark. The floods of the Punjab rivers have rolled away. The rivers have shrunk low. The storm is over, and the winds blow soft and slow. It is the season of the cooling dew. The dew is falling everywhere, and wet is every rose. The gentle breath of heaven blows. The sweet, sweet dew wets all with joy. Wet with joy are the night and the moon, and dewdrops quiver over the stars on high. And joy wet blows the wind on my face. It is the season of the cooling dew. The dew is falling everywhere, and wet is every rose. The gentle breath of heaven blows. The cool, soft touches of the falling dew calm my soul, and my mind, blessed with the dew joys, calm and cool, is at rest. My beloved, come to me as the dew of my eyes. Come today as the dew cometh, and cool my soul, parched by the pain of long, long separation. My beloved, it is the season of the cooling dew. The dew is falling everywhere, and wet is every rose. The gentle breath of heaven blows. O Master of the Order of the Seli, O Dweller of Heaven, O Great Giver, my Guru Nanak, come to me today. O Light of Lights, thy seats are the sun and the moon. My beloved, return to me today. It is the season of the cooling dew. The dew is falling everywhere, and wet is every rose. The gentle breath of heaven blows. It is the season of slumber and dew. Cruel is all separation. Pray remove the distances that divide me from thee. My beloved, it is the season of the cooling dew. The dew is falling everywhere, and wet is every rose. The gentle breath of heaven blows. My love, stay no more in distant lands away from me. Come into the vacant courtyard of my heart. Dye my soul with the joys of thy presence, and make it now thy home. Stay at home. Go no more out of me. dwell in my soul before my eyes, and be forever there, the perennial draught of my eyes. My love, it is the season of the cooling dew. The dew is falling everywhere, and wet is every rose. The gentle breath of heaven blows. Fill my tearful gaze forever with thy celestial face, and let my eyes be forever wet with the joy of seeing thee. My love, dwell forever in my eyes. It is the season of the cooling dew. The dew is falling everywhere, and wet is every rose. The gentle breath of heaven blows. It is now the dewy season, the season of the happy meetings of love, the season of the quenching of all fires of pain. To me everything seems to be dew-wet. From the blue of heaven the dew is falling soft. It is the dew of deep, deep unions, and wonder and worship is in the eyes. The separated ones shall meet. It is the season of the cooling dew. The dew is falling everywhere, and wet is every rose. The gentle breath of heaven blows. Now is the time of everlasting embraces. My beloved, come, meet me today. Take me to thy bosom. The dew is flooding things with joy. My love, come to me. It is the season of the cooling dew. The dew is falling everywhere, and wet is every rose. The gentle breath of heaven blows. The dew cometh from heaven down. It bringeth heavenly peace for all. It wetteth all with sweetness. Invisible, it reigneth deep into souls. It reigneth love, and peace, and joy. It reigneth sweetness. Dew, dew, my comrades. It is the season of the cooling dew. The dew is falling everywhere, and wet is every rose. The gentle breath of heaven blows. End of the Punjab Autumn, the Season of the Cooling Dew, by Bharveer Singh, translated by Puran Singh.
Section 42 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Rajhans, the Prince of Swans. Rajhans, the golden swan, is it thy plumage that shines, or the sunrise on the eternal snows? The dweller of Mansarovar, the lake on the roof of the world, thy golden beak parts milk from water. In the living stream thou art a liberated soul. A rosary of spotless pearls is in thy beak, and how sublime is the lofty curve of thy neck against the heaven's vast azure. Thou livest on pearls, the nectar drops so pure of Harinam. Great soul, lover of the azure transparent infinite, thou canst not breathe out of the Mansarovar air, nor canst thou live out of sight of those loftiest peaks of snow, and away from the diluted perfume of musk blowing from the wild trail of the deer. Thou art the spirit of beauty. Thou art far beyond the reach of human thought. Thy isolation reflecteth the glory of the starry sky in thy nectar lake of heart, in whose waters the sun daily dips himself. Thou hast the limitless expanse of air, the companionship of fragrant gods, and yet we know thou leavest those fair abodes to come to share the woes of human love. Thou alightest unawares on the grain-filled barn of the humble farmer, awakening nature's maiden hearts thou informest to love. It is thy delight to see woman love man. The small ripplings of a human heart in love flutter thee in thy lofty seat. Thou art the soul liberated through love. Thou knowest the worth of love, flying for its sake, even midst the city's smoke and dust, perchance to save a human soul through love. Sisters of the Spinning Wheel. End of poem by Puran Singh. Read by Anusha Iyer, Mumbai, 11th May 2025.
Section 43 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Hydrant. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Later lyrics, Poplar, Beech, and Weeping Willow. 1. Shapely poplar, shivering white, poplar like a maiden, thinking, musing softly here, so light and so unladen, that with every breath and stir, perpetually you gladden. Teach me your still secrecies of thought that never sadden. From the heavy-hearted earth, earth of grief and passion, maiden, would you spring with me, and leave men's lowly fashion? Skyward lift with me your thoughts in cumberless elation, every leaf and every shoot, a virgin aspiration. The blue day, the floating clouds, the stars shall you for palace proffer their cathedral pomp, don her rosy chalice. Where the birds are, you shall throng and revel to be lonely in the blue of heaven, to spire and sway with breezes only. 2. Beech of leafy isles the queen, beech of trees the lady, soaring to a tower of sighs, in branches soft and shady. You that sunward lift your strength, to make of shadow duty, teach me, tree, your heavenly height, and earth-remembering beauty. Maiden, would you soar like me, with day upclouding tresses, beauty into bounty change, bend down the eye that blesses. Make from heaven a shelter cool, to shepherd and sheep silly, shadowing with shadiness, hot rose and fainting lily. Through your glorious heart of gloom, the noonday wind awakening, in an ecstasy shall set swaying, blowing, shaking. Leafy branches in their nests set the sweet birds rocking, till their happy song break out, the noonday ardor mocking. 3. Willow sweet, willow sad, willow by the river, taught by pensive love to droop where ceaseless waters shiver, teach me, steadfast sorrower, your mournful grace of graces, weeping to make beautiful the silent water places. Maiden, would you learn of me the loveliness of morning? Droop into the chill one wave, strength hardness, lofty scorning. Drench your drooping soul in tears, content to love and languish. Gaze in sorrow's looking-glass, and see the face of anguish? In the very wash of woe, as your bowed soul shall linger, you shall touch the sheer bright stars, and on the moon set finger. You shall hear, where brooks have birth, the mountain pine's emotion, catch upon the broadening stream the sound and swell of ocean. End of poem by Manmohan Ghosh. Section 44 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Hydrant. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Orphic Mysteries, The Yellow Butterfly. Of all shy visitants, I love that darling butterfly, whose wings are to the cornfield's wave a hovering reply. Yellow as dancing wheat ears ripe, he suns with his gay youth and feeds me with the gold of light, the thrice-tried gleam of truth. When, gluing back upon myself the garden path I pace, he comes and makes my gladdened eyes the dial to his grace. Unfailing omen, punctual sign, no sooner am I out, he hovers by on golden wings to chase the grey of doubt. All melancholy thoughts to thresh, winnow the blissful grain of immortality, and sift from mortal fear and pain. Day after day the marvel grows, ever his gladsome morn shines down the blackness of my grief with glancing wings of scorn. Now from the creeper's bowery height, now o'er the garden wall, from far-off places, or where first the wonder did befall. In that low bed of coxcomb flowers, beneath her window-sill, her chamber window where he warms, homeward my spirit still. Or plumb down from the soaring roof, he to my awful eye his radiant message angels me from azure depths of sky. I cannot with ungrateful heart feel God's fair world a blank. Straight for the sunny thought of her, his yellow wings I thank. I cannot still her sight to want, weep like a thwarted boy, cry outright, but with darting gold he chides me back to joy. The stupor of the miracle ever renewed, the fear I lose in charmed tranquillity, for she, my saint, is here. Who works it? No dead relic sweet of her, my living saint, perfect beyond the skill of thought, of fancy's power to paint. Whole from a suffering martyrdom she is arisen, no tomb could hold her, no far blissful heaven allure, her heaven is home. No place more holy than these walks, this garden, where the flowers swing censers breathing up to God, this house, a book of hours. No room but memory's sacred hand, gilded, illuminate, paints how she suffered, loved, and died, the legend of her fate. In heaven she is, beatitude to her, her loved ones still, so loving she, here, and sky to guard. It is God's will. Here in the old sweet home where, still a guardian spirit, she heals, comforts, counsels, and performs her angel ministry. End of poem by Manmohan Ghosh.
Section 45 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Cavaet. An Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Mvanwi. Oft hast thou heard it, that old true saying, 'tis like and unlike makes the happiest music. Then, gravely smiling, scorn me not, Mvanwi, fairest of maidens. Thou who in sunlight sittest, pensive leaning at the open window, thy hand deep buried in the dark sweet clusters of thy hair, and gazest o'er the wide ocean. Yes, o'er the ocean far, far in the distance is my own country, and other soil bore me than my dear birthplace, other sun than England's nourished my spirit. Yet for this slight not my heart as alien. What can green England show to match those regions, save thyself only? What hath she that merits prouder remembrance? Nothing. Nor any shore that hears the ocean, nothing can match their beauty. If Mvanwi had but an exile's sad heart in her bosom, she too would say so. She too would say so, when back in thought returning, how would her sweet eyes fill with tears of gladness? How would she marvel, the lovely maiden, breathless with gazing? There, stretching lonely, do the giant mountains rise with their ages of snow to heaven. Snows the heart shudders, so far away seem they, fearfully lovely. There is the tall palm, like her own dear stature, the land's green lady, and riotously hang there, all from Mvanwi's lips, the strange, delicious fruits of the tropics, and the vast elephant that dreams for ages, lost among dim leaves and things of old remembers. Would he not, rousing at her name's sweet rumour, pace to behold her? Oh me, what glories would her eyes enkindle, eyes with their quick imaginative rapture! How shall I picture to her all the strangeness, all the enchantment? In that enchanted land of noon, my heart faints, and my tongue falters, for long ago Mavanwi, deep in the east where now but evening gathers, lost is my country. Long ago hither in passionate boyhood, lightly an exile, lightly leagues I wandered over the bitter foam. So far fate led me, only to love thee. Lost is that country, and all but forgotten, mid these chill breezes, yet still, oh believe me, all her meridian suns and ardent summers burn in my bosom. End of poem by Mahanam Ghosi.
Section 46 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Jessie Percival. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Kismet. Before our births, Kusum, who makes our fate, ordained us happy or unfortunate, and wrote upon our brow and on our hands the signs that tell him who understands our destiny, decreed for good or ill. So pass the wise, bending to Allah's will, their lives into his mighty hands resigned. One child is cherished, one to hands unkind is given, one dies in life's first shining dawn, one longs to die, but death, when called upon, turns from the supplicating voice his ear. One starves in poverty, one is a mere, and drives his elephant in lordly state. One lives in love, one girdled round with hate, dwells ever in a bitter world of strife. One, in the moment of this earthly life, is ruler, sitting on a regal seat. One crawls a slave, obedient at his feet. And Allah changes all as he desires. He is an artist, whom his art inspires. This world, the picture he is painting still. But with his share of fate he gave man will to fashion circumstance by its control, to make a path of healing for his soul, to act, to think, to feel aright until he knows his will as one with Allah's will. End of poem by Inayat Khan. Section 47 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Jessie Percival. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Tansen. Tansen the singer in great Akbar's court won great renown through the Badashi fort. His voice rang like the sound of silver bells, and Akbar ravished heard. The story tells how the king praised him, gave him many a gem, called him chief jewel in his diadem. One day the singer sang the song of fire, the Deepak Rag, and burning like a pyre, his body burst into consuming flame. To cure his burning heart, a maiden came and sang Malhar, the song of water cold, till health returned and comfort as of old. Mighty thy teacher must be and divine, great Akbar said. Magic indeed is thine learnt at his feet. Then happy Tansen bowed and said, beyond the world's ignoble crowd, scorning its wealth remote and far away, he dwells within a cave of Himalaya. Could I but see him once, desired the king, sit at his feet a while and listening, hear his celestial song, I would deny my state and walk in robes of poverty. Then, said Tansen, as you desire, Hazur, indeed, 'twere better as a slave and poor to come, for he, lifted above the things of earth, disdains to sing to earthly kings. Long was the road, and Akbar as a slave followed Tansen, who rode toward the cave high in the mountains. At the singer's feet they knelt and prayed with supplication sweet. Towards thy shrine, lo, we have journeyed long. Holy Master, bless us with thy song. Then Ostad, won by their humility, sang songs of peace and high felicity. The Malchus Raga all ecstatic rang, till birds and beasts, enchanted as he sang, gathered to hear. O'er Akbar's dreaming soul he felt the waves of heavenly rapture roll. But as he turned to speak his words of praise, Ostad had vanished from his wondering gaze. Tell me, Tansen, what theme this is that holds the soul enchanted, and the heart enfolds in high delight. And when he knew the name, tell me, again he said, Could you the same theme sing to lure my heart to paths untrod? Ah, no. To thee I sing. He sings to God. End of poem by Inayat Khan. Section 48 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Jessie Percival. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. The High Ambition of the Drop of Rain. The high ambition of the drop of rain is to be merged in the unfettered sea. My sorrow, when it passed all bounds of pain, changing became itself the remedy. Behold how great is my humility! Under your cruel yoke I suffered sore. Now I no longer feel thy tyranny. I hunger for the pain that then I bore. Why did the fragrance of the flowers outflow, if not to breathe with benediction sweet? Across her path, why did the soft wind blow, if not to kiss the ground before her feet? End of poem by Ghalib. Section 49 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Jessie Percival. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. How difficult is the thorny way of strife. How difficult is the thorny way of strife, that man hath stumbled since time began. And in the tangled business of this life, how difficult to play the part of man. When she decrees there should exist no more, my humble cottage through its broken walls, and cruelly drifting in the open door, the frozen rain of desolation falls. O mad desire, why dost thou flame and burn, and bear my soul further and further yet? To the beloved, then why dost thou turn? To bitter disappointment and regret. Such light there gleams from the beloved's face, that every eye becomes her worshipper, and every mirror looking on her grace desires to be the frame enclosing her. Unhappy lovers, slaves of cruel chance, in this grim place of slaughter strange indeed, your joy to see unveiled her haughty glance, that flashes like the scimitar of Eid. When I had hardly drawn my latest breath, pardon she asked for killing me, alas! How soon repentance followed on my death, how quick her unavailing sorrow was. End of poem by Ghalib.
Section number 50 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Thy Beauty Flashes Like a Sword by Zahir. Thy beauty flashes like a sword, serene and keen and merciless. But great as is thy cruelty, even greater is thy loveliness. It is the gift of God to thee, this beauty rare and exquisite. Why dost thou hide it thus from me? I shall not steal nor sully it. And as thy beauty shines in heaven, there climbs upon its path of fire the star that lights my rival's way, and with it mounts his heart's desire. Even in thy house is jealousy, thy youth demands the lover's praise, over thy beauty which itself is jealous of thy gracious ways. I died with joy when winningly I heard the well-beloved call, Zahir, where is my beauty gone? Thou must have robbed me after all. End of poem by author Zahir.
Section 51 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. I shall not try to flee the sword of death, nor, fearing it, a watchful vigil keep. It will be nothing but a sigh, a breath, a turning on the other side to sleep. Through all the close entanglements of earth, my spirit shaking of its bonds shall fare, and pass, and rise in new unfettered birth, escaping from this labyrinth of care. Within the mortal caravanserai, no rest and no abiding place I know. I linger here for but a fleeting day, and at the morrow's summoning I go. What are these bonds that try to shackle me? Through all their intricate chains my way I find. I travel like a wandering melody that floats untamed, untaken on the wind. From an unsympathetic world I flee to you. Your love and fellowship I crave. O singers dead, Sauda and Mushafi, I lay my song as tribute on your grave. End of poem by Amir. Read by Anusha Iyer, Mumbai, 11th May 2025.
Section 52 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Cavaet. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Voice in the Air. The vaulted roof opens. The guests feel a being is entering from above. They see nothing, but all hear a voice in the air. High above the clouds in the home of light I dwell. My days are passed in the peace of great understanding. For their welfare do I visit men in all corners of the earth. At the command of the mother I move up and down, east and west, showering the rays of freedom upon all. The mother is the circle, I am but a curve. The mother is the whole, I am but a part. The mother is the opening lotus, I am but a single petal. The mother is the ocean of honey, I am but a thirsty bee. Men call me Lord of the sky and Father of the heavens. They know naught who speak thus. I am the space and it all infilling light, and the sight in men's eyes which sees them both. I am the sense whereby man knows the quarters. I dwell in peace, encompassing all these living orbs of light. I know the secret of the primal song. The gods are all the offspring of a song by them unheard. I keep the record of men's thoughts in my infinite house of sky. From eon to eon I hold up the mirror of thought to each man's mind, to lead him across the shoreless seas of mirage. Yet I do but the bidding of the mother of eternal power. I am in all hearts, save only those where love is not. The being rises up through the open roof, and the guests hear his voice dying away in the far-off sky. The vault of the hall closes. The southern door opens. A being enters. They hear his voice. Voice in the air. By the will of the mother, I am the lord of the air. I reign over all who breathe. I carry sweet fragrance from ocean to ocean. My song is heard in the mountain forest, but men hear not my music in the clouds. My home is near to the Lord of the heart. I am the Lord of life's brother and playmate. I walk with man from the door of birth to the door of death. Waking and sleeping, by day and by night, I watch over him. I sweep from pole to pole, and none can withstand my power. I am the friend of the flowers. From one to another I bear sweet messages of love. This all I do at the command of the mother of life. There stands the mother, tenderly smiling, filling with sweetness the quarters of the heavens. Yea, like a spreading mountain pine she stands in the soft autumn twilight, and it pleases her that I play upon my reed for the comfort of all creatures that breathe. The light dies out, leaving the hall in darkness. After a while, A kind of murky earthlight diffuses itself over the lower part of the hall. The guests hear the sound of a mighty crying, like a wailing of a sacked city in the far distance. A voice, broken by sighs and groans, speaks from below. Voice. I come, ye ask, who art thou? Gods have not named me. I call myself humanity. I dwell on land and in the seas. I sweep through the air and the ether. I am man and woman and the intermediate one. I am the ape and the tiger and the lamb. I wander in the woods of dark continents as a savage cannibal. I watch by the bedside of the sick in the home of mercy. I am ferocity in the beast of prey. I am compassion in the heart of the mother. I devour my own offspring. I sacrifice myself to save others. I change every moment, every season, every eon. I fill the pages of my history with romances written in blood. Out of my dreams of heaven I create this earth. I wax strong and wage war to please death. I laugh at death and hurl him into the flaming furnace of hell. And this I do to please my children. I enter the portals of life with strong crying, and with a sigh I bid farewell to life. I am prophet, I am idiot, I am king and shepherd and fisherman. I put my foot on the neck of kings and shepherds and fishermen and turn them into dust. And with their dust I do besmear myself and madly dance over green meadows. I am what ye fear to think of me. I will be what ye love to dream of me. And I will baffle all your fond expectations and all your clever calculations. In a moment of infinite time I will take the whole world by the hand and lift it up to the heaven of my heart. I am the most erring of high mother's children, but one sure instinct I possess. I stand erect the moment I fall, and by the aid of the very obstacle that caused my fall do I rise again. I sorrow not over my shortcomings and my sufferings. I hope, yet know that my hopes are too wild to be realized. In a part of space called the corner of pain, I have made my home. I breathe the atmosphere of pain. I drink from the well of pain. I eat the fruits of the tree of pain. My sleep is troubled by the dream of pain. I love not pain. Pain loves me. The whole history of my existence is a constant fleeing from this cruel lover of mine. I have prayed to God to be delivered from him. Has he heard my prayer? I have worshipped a million lesser divinities, nature gods, man gods, god gods, throughout the ages, hoping to be relieved of pain. Have they saved me? I have believed in prophets, saviors, saints. Have they healed me? I have listened to philosophers, scientists, magicians. Have they protected me? Kings, statesmen, lawgivers have boldly proclaimed the gospel of peace and security. Have they not themselves plunged the poisoned dagger into my heart? I am old as eternity, yet I feel not the burden of my eternal years. I am young as the babe of today, yet I am wise as all the hoary Bible makers of all the races of the earth. I am one. I am many. I am spirit, ghost, man, animal, and tree, yet my hidden life flows ever with a passionate impetuosity towards the distant future over the heads of nations. To me the least is not the less than the greatest. In all I am their sensitiveness to pain, the pain of a perpetual new birth of cosmos or of chaos. I am large, and my largeness moves me to face great pain for the avoiding of great pain. I am strong, and my strength lies in discovering the source of consolation, even in the moment of suffering from suffering itself. I am inured to pain, so that I delight in excitement that brings pain and inflicts pain. Who brought this pain upon me? Had it been God-given, God would one day have taken it away. Has he taken it away? Had I been given the gift of nature, I would have revenged myself upon her, but I feel no enmity to nature. I desire that she be endless, infinite, and that I may ever conquer her. I desire to be charmed by her, yet to be her master. I wonder, shall I ever wish to end this play? Deeming myself the mother of my pain, I seek the aid of floods and earthquakes, war and pestilence and famine, to bring destruction on myself, But ever by a mysterious magic I rise from my own ashes and live again, and after my resurrection, sitting in the dawn light by the waveless ocean, Psyche comes and whispers to my heart, "Not thou, O sweet humanity, art cause of thine own pain." And if I muse, if I be the father of my sufferings, how can I desire to live again? How can I inflict pain upon myself? How can I construct machinery for my own torture? I know that my nature is rooted in contradiction. Have I perhaps sought to grow at the cost of happiness and peace? Bright powers in the heavens are watching over my mysterious destiny. Have they lauded me as good and true and beautiful? Have they condemned me as bad and false and ugly? Who will say whether I am developing aright? Who will say whether the daily use to which I am constrained to put my life is not frustrating the eternal purpose? I am left alone, with my unforeseeing understanding and my ever-forward springing untamable energy. My knowledge embraces not the whole reality. Perchance my sensitiveness to pain has sprung from my limited, uncomprehending understanding. True, in my own eyes I grow from ugliness to beauty, from ignorance to knowledge, from slavery to freedom, from sin to holiness. I make progress in culture and civilization, but I rise to the zenith only to descend to the nadir. Henceforth I will seek new and inward space for my progress. In the coming age I will seek to bore a tunnel in the spirit, to find an inner path to the divinity of my heart. But I will not destroy the bridges which I have built during the past ages, linking this earth with the distant divinity of suns and moons and stars. I will be free, glorious, and immortal. The voice ceases. End of poem by Sri Ananda Acharya.
Section 53 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. All this is rhythm. All this is rhythm. May fields, child hearts, evening skies, grown corn and wisdom and stars by the throb of rhythm. And muses from the Milky Way nightly visit the sleeping poet's downy pillow by the law of rhythm. And angels bring him faces, flushed with morning's rose, tinted with even's quiet, by the sweet impulse of rhythm. Wait, O soul, outside thy door, upon the green, heaven stands expectant, waiting to be ushered in by rhythm, just now, or perchance tomorrow. End of poem by author Sri Ananda Acharya, read by Jean, Toronto, April 26, 2025.
Section 54 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Friend, dwell thou within my ruby lotus heart of dreams. Friend, see thyself in the diamond mirror of my heart of hopes. Friend, sport with me in the garden walks of my heart, fringed with everlastings. Friend, sleep thou on the shore of the song-throated ocean of my heart. Friend, shine in me like sunlight in the heart of a rosebud of jade. Poem by Sri Ananda Acharya from Usarika. Thou art the rose, I am the honey. Thou drinkest the light of the four heavens, and my soul is suffused with the rainbow of seven tints. I give myself to the bees, and become a song on the wings of winds that sing to the gods and the fleecy clouds and the sleeping children of life. From Usarika, Dawn Rhythms. End of poems by Sri Ananda Acharya. Read by Anusha Iyer, Mumbai, 11th May 2025. Section 55 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Snow blossoms, are you alive? In your heart I see the image of the heavens, the disk of the sun. And when clouds veil the face of the sky, I see your facets tinted with the ink of dark sorrow. Children of Varun, sweet guests of late autumn, you too hear the whispers of immortality. Like our village sons, dwelling in lighted cottages by the gloom-canopied graves of their departed ancestors. From Sakhi, the Comrade. End of poem by Sri Ananda Acharya. Read by Anusha Iyer, Mumbai, 11th May 2025.
Section 56 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. The Rose of Eternity. The rose of eternity is my heart. The sun-gold honey is my love for my Sakhi. The honey bees are my sighs and songs. The river is my feeling of life, and the light of my Sakhi's eyes is the true life of the red rose. What grey dews or blank canker can harm this ever-smiling rose of my heart? End of a poem by author Sri Ananda Acharya. Read by Jean, Toronto, April 22nd, 2025.
Section 57 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. The blue of Indra is thy laughter frozen into the sky ocean, and these stars and this earth are frozen lilies, and we living creatures are frozen bees. O Sakhi, laugh no more. From Sakhi. End of poem by Sri Ananda Acharya. Read by Anusha Iyer, Mumbai, 11th May 2025.
Section 58 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. The Shadow of a Flying Bird. The shadow of a flying bird across the sun's disk fell on the still floor of my morning quiet cave, and vanished, like the memory of one who passing through the bright shade of my garden trees of early days, entered into the deep shadows of another's garden trees. End of poem by Sri Anada Acharya.
Section 59 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Larry Wilson. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Love Samadhi and a Cradle-song. Love Samadhi. Ah, love, I sink into the timeless sleep, sink in the timeless sleep. One image stands before my eyes and thrills my bosom's deep. One vision bathes in radiant light my spirit's palace halls. All stir of hand, all throb of brain, quivers and sinks and falls. My soul fares forth. No fetters now chain me to this world's shore. Sleep, I would sleep. In pity spare. Let no man wake me more. End of poem by Narayan Vaman Tilak. A Cradle-song. Hush thee, baby Christ, Lord of all mankind, thou the happy lullaby of my mind. Hush thee, Jesus Lord, stay of all that heart, thou the happy lullaby of my heart. Hush thee, home of peace, lo, love lying there, thou the happy lullaby of my care. Hush thee, soul of mine, setting all men free, thou the happy lullaby of the whole of me. End of poem by Narayan Vaman Tilak. Section 60 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Larry Wilson. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. The Way of Poverty. Thou hadst no servants to attend on thee, then why this pomp of household estate for me? Coarse fare and scanty was thy portion, Lord, then why for me this richly furnished board? Thou hadst not where to lay thy head to rest, then why should I of mansions be possessed? Ah, helpless I, what is this tyranny? How dost thou laugh and make a mock of me? Ah, take from me this burden that doth bow my head. Blessed ocean of all love art thou? I speak in anger, Lord, yet if thou too reject my prayer, what can thy servant do? Saith Dasa, Christ upon thy pallet bed, grant me a little space to lay my head. End of poem by Narayan Vaman Tilak. Section 61 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Larry Wilson. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. The Last Prayer and Union with Christ. The Last Prayer. Lay me within thy lap to rest, around my head thine arm entwine. Let me gaze up into thy face, O Father, Mother mine. So let my spirit pass with joy, now at the last, O tenderest. Saith Dasa, grant thy wayward child this last request. End of poem by Narayan Vaman Tilak. Union with Christ. As the moon and its beams are one, so that I be one with thee. This is my prayer to thee, my Lord. This is this beggar's plea. I would snare thee and hold thee ever in loving wifely ways. I give thee a daughter's welcome. I give thee a sister's praise. As words in their meaning are linked, serving one purpose each, be thou and I so knit, O Lord, and through me breathe thy speech. O be my soul a mirror clear, that I may see thee there. Dwell in my thought, my speech, my life, making them glad and fair. Take thou this body, O my Christ, dwell as its soul within. To be an instant separate I count a deadly sin. End of poem by Narayan Vaiman Tilak. Section 62 of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Larry Wilson. Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin. Peace. It is the hour of sunset, and the sky is robed in purple as a lovely bride with ruby lips and veil thrown half aside, waiting for her sweet lord with longing eye. The air is fresh and fragrant, and the sea in smiling joy its boundless bosom heaves, with ringing music of the rising waves. And far from here its weary whisper leaves the broken echo of a world that raves, its murmur hushed in new-born notes of glee. Lulled by the laughter of the sky and earth, the heart forgets her sorrow, and suspends her breath in silent rapture, and descends upon the soul the vision of its birth. Immeasurable waters, and the sky immeasurable, and this wondrous light in rainbow smiles of India all around, resting and rocking and rolling in delight, and swelling with the mirth of many a sound that fills the ocean's ears unceasingly. And now the mantle of approaching night falls gently o'er the drowsy eyes of day. The roseate glow of evening melts away, softly beyond the western waves to white. Now o'er the earth a veil of mystery in silver silence all around is spread, and not a sound is heard or sight is seen, except the lingering echoes hither led of boatmen's shouts and distant lights between the mingling bosoms of the sky and the sea. The moon hath risen, and the stars appear, and heaven is watching with the eyes of light. And in my heart a newer hope is bright, with varied splendors of the atmosphere. The mind is hushed, and all its motions cease, of wayward fancy and unquiet thought. And in the happy island of the soul awakes a joy in radiance unforgot, which o'er the world's tumultuous uncontrol doth smile and softly whisper, "Here is peace." End of poem by Nanakram Vasanmal Thadani. End of Anthology of Modern Indian Poetry by Gwendoline Goodwin.